And welcome everyone to our way too early Power 36 here at NCAA men's basketball, NCAA digital, March Madness, Bleacher Report, all of the above. Look, we had an unbelievable March Madness, Final Four, ultimate blue bloods. Don't give me that Villanova's not a blue blood. They are a blue blood. Check how many national championships and Final Fours they've been in since 2016. A lot more than other blue bloods. North Carolina, unbelievable run. First year by Hubert Davis, as Davis led the Tar Heels within a whisker of the national championship. I still contend that had Armando Bacot not gotten hurt, re-injuring that ankle in that final minute, I don't know if David McCormick scores that bucket. Kansas may still win, but I don't know. I mean, McCormick had that opening. He had scored to put Kansas up 1, but that clinching bucket to put them up 3 was when Bacot went out with the ankle injury. And look, Carolina was completely hampered here. You had Puff Johnson, who took the blow to the gut, vomiting on the side. Caleb Love was, limping. I mean, he was limping around because he had a bum ankle. But we have to credit Kansas because ultimately, second half of Miami in the regional final in Chicago, second half in the national championship game against North Carolina, they absolutely stepped up. Ochai Agbaji was that Naismith candidate. He was the most outstanding player. You could make a stronger argument, and I did not vote for David McCormick. Most people I talked to thought McCormick was going to be the MOP. Didn't happen. Agbaji, who was deserving of being a Naismith finalist, the only one that played in the Final Four, he got the MOP. Remy Martin, who struggled in that national semifinal game against Villanova, they didn't really need him, came up huge with a couple of big buckets. There's no question the contributions from everyone on KU over the course of Miami game. Really, I can go back to the Creighton game, Providence, Miami second half, and then in the Final Four, obviously they ran past Villanova in the second half because the Wildcats just ran out of steam. No Justin Moore, as we know. And then that second half against North Carolina. I will say this. I was doing national radio for Westwood One, and I was interviewing both coaches coming off at halftime. And that's as ticked off as I've ever seen Bill Self. Walking back with him into the locker room, he was furious at the way they were playing down 15. Conversely, when I talked to Hubert Davis coming back on the court, he was as locked in as I've ever seen a coach. He just kept saying 20 minutes, 20 more minutes to fight, 20 more minutes to rebound, 20 more minutes, 20 more minutes. He was like a robot. And obviously right off the bat, Kansas popped them. And so that changed the dynamic, certainly, of that second half. So, unbelievable final, second national championship for Bill Self in his fourth Final Four, first one since 2008. 10 years ago, we were in that the Superdome. All right, so let's get to our Power 36. I want to say this right as I go from 36 to 1. First off, the transfer portal is going to change dramatically over the next couple of weeks because players have till May 1st to identify that they want to be eligible next season. So we're going to see a lot of movement the rest of April. Then you've got to go through the NBA draft process, combines in mid-May, 14th, 15th, around then. And then they got 10 days after that. So we're not going to know these full rosters really until June 1st. NBA draft late June, but to withdraw. So that is just as your backdrop, okay? So let's start with our way too early Power 36 to 1. Wyoming. Here's the deal with the Cowboys. It all depends on Hunter Maldonado and Graham Ike. If they both are back and Maldonado has declared for the NBA draft, then there's no question that I think the Pokes are going to be in contention for the Mountain West title, and I've got them at 36. All right, 35, Texas Tech. Now, that roster for the Red Raiders was completely changing last season at this time. It will change again. I can't tell you who's going to be on the scene, but I'll tell you this. They're going to be one of the best defensive teams in the country. Mark Adams, who's going to get an extension, he will coach these guys up. So I felt like I had to have Texas Tech in here, but I don't know their roster. But they will be in the mix. 34, Oklahoma State. Maybe I have them too low. Cowboys bring back Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year, Musa Cisse. And once again, I got to couch this, that these are expectations at this moment of where people are coming and going. So as of now, Cisse back. 3 of their top 5 scorers are back, including Avery Anderson and Bryce Thompson. So maybe this is too low for Oklahoma State. 33, Davidson. Again, I feel like the Wildcats will be an A-10 favorite under Bob McKillop, Hung Jung Lee, Foster Lawyer, Sam Meninga, and Michael Jones, all expected to be back for the Wildcats. And if that happens, no question, they will be in the mix at the top of the A-10. 32, another team that you can't not put in here somewhere because of what has happened with Wisconsin. Okay, so the Badgers will be in the mix in the Big Ten. No Johnny Davis, so they need, I think, another elite scorer. We'll see what they get in the portal. Here's a question. Chucky Hepburn, Tyler Wall, and Stephen Grawl. Okay, Hepburn and Wall can be go-to guys, but they're not next level go-to guys. So that, Davis was that. But I think, Wisconsin has to be, no question, in the mix in somewhere in the Power 36. They're pick 10th. They got to share the title. All right. 31, Iowa. Again, another team that has to be in this grouping. Keegan Murray, gone. Joey Toussaint, gone. Josh Ogunale, gone. Chris Murray, returning. He's going to be a star for Iowa, the twin brother of Keegan Murray. I think he could be first team All Big Ten. Patrick McCaffrey is back. He's going to be elite for Fran McCaffrey. Tony Perkins, Peyton Sanford, and Connor McCaffrey is going to return as a super senior. So expect Iowa, again, to score well, be in the mix. 30, Ohio State. We know E.J. Liddell is gone. We expect Malachi Branham to be gone. Justice Suing just announced he is returning. He was out all year, big-time scorer. So if Suing is back, which he's now announced, and I mean back healthy-wise, he will be back at Ohio State. Now they have that elite scorer. Wright State transfer Tanner Holden is there, and a top 5 recruiting class. So Ohio State will be in the mix. Memphis. I can already hear the chirping. Memphis too low. But I got to see how this all plays out. And I'm not talking about the NCAA issues. I fully expect Jalen Duren gone. Josh Minot gone because they're going to be, draft picks. Amani Bates came in thinking one and done, but he needs to come back. So I'm going to assume he will, but I don't know. So that leaves players that we expect. Chandler Lawson, Jonathan Lawson, Malcolm Dandridge. I love him. I think he can take that next step as a big. Jaden Hardaway. Question is, Alex Lomax, super senior. If he comes back in that leadership, then I think Memphis goes higher. TCU. Jamie Dixon did a phenomenal job, got an extension. So this is another team in the Big 12 I think will be consistently good, okay? They returned 5 of their top 6 scorers, Emmanuel Miller, Damian Baugh. That means 72% of their points would be back, 74% of their minutes. Eddie Lampkin is back. He's one of the best boardmen. He had 2014 in that game against number 1 Arizona where they almost won in the second round. So TCU, let's get used to hearing about TCU in the Big 12. They're sticking around. 27, St. Mary's. No more Tommy Kuzi. He's gone. He's been there 6 years. But never, ever underestimate Randy Bennett's crew. So Logan Johnson, back. Okay, Alex Dukas, back. Augustus Marshallonis, Sharunas' son, back. You don't want to deal with St. Mary's and not be prepared because they'll slice and dice you. They will be certainly in the mix at the top of the WCC. 26, Oregon. Okay, the Ducks. Underachieved under Dana Altman. Very disappointing. That won't happen again. Roster will be in flux because it always is under them. But Davion Harmon, Quincy Guerrier, supposed to be back. So that's experience. And then big-time recruiting class. Usually it's transfers or, guys sitting out and all that. But no, Khalil Ware, if I'm pronouncing that right, I hope, Dior Johnson, make Oregon a formidable team in the Pac-12. Number 25, Dayton. I vacillated on this because now I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should have had Dayton higher. And we will do this again, after these different deadlines of the portal and the early entry draft deadline. And I think I may have Dayton higher. They're scheduled to return all 5 starters. They were the first team out of the 68. Okay. Outstanding young guys. Deron Holmes II, Malachi Smith, Kobe Brea, big time talents. They're the favorite in the A10, 90% of possible minutes returning for Dayton. So the Flyers, I think, as we move over the course of the offseason and into the fall, will continue to rise, at least in my rankings, and I think others as well. So let's shift to our second slide for the next grouping. And I can already hear the chirping from Dayton. By the way, at the end of this, we're going to take some questions, okay? I can check real quick here to see if we've got some. All right, let's take a pause on my rankings because I'm going to take some of these questions. This comes from Jamal Williams saying, I have Davidson too low. That's fine. I think they could be much higher. I agree with that. TCU is about to surprise everyone. Once again, I wanted to have TCU in there. Andy's showing some love to the A10 with Davidson and Dayton. You got to love it. I agree. I think both of those schools could be firmly in the top 20 the next time we do this. And then saying I forgot Iowa State. Well, I will just say that is possibly correct. And I think they will be there. But I got to see how this roster all plays out. And you know what? Maybe I should have had Iowa State in there. So we shall see. All right. At 20, we are now at 24, with the Trojans of USC. There we go. All right. So Trojans USC. Drew Peterson and Boogie Ellis. Expected back. Reese Dixon Waters. Also, Kobe Johnson and Harrison Hornery will help defensively. I mean, this team's going to lose their bigs. Andy Enfield has a long-term deal. So I feel like there's no question USC will, once again, be in the mix. That's what they've done under Andy Enfield. All right, 23. Another school that I could move higher up next time we do this. San Diego State. Matt Bradley coming back. He's already made that announcement. So they've got their score. Okay. Lamont Butler, Kashad Johnson, Nathan Mensah. To me, this is the favorite in the Mountain West. They've been the most consistent team in the state of California for quite some time, and that will continue. 22. Another team that I'm not sure yet, but I got to include them, and that's Tennessee. A lot of questions remain, but if the top 4 scorers return, Kennedy Chandler, Sakai Zeigler, Santiago Vescovi, and Josiah Jordan James, then the Vols are going to move up. Let's just say it right now. Rick Barnes has built a strong foundation with Tennessee. So expect the Vols likely to move up. All right, Texas A&M. Buzz Williams was clearly open. He thought they should have been in the NCAA tournament. They were not the next team in. As we said, Dayton was. So will the Aggies get in 2023? Well, NIT runners-up. Bring back Henry Coleman II, Tyrese Radford. 2 other starters, Manny Obaseki and Wade Taylor IV. That's why the Aggies should be in this mix. I got them in the top 25. All right, number 20, Illinois. The Illini nestled here in the top 20. The big question, what will Kofi Coburn do? Okay. I think he should come back. Kofi Coburn was born basically 20 years too late. A big in the 80s and 90s, he would have been long gone. He's not a first-round draft pick. That's what I've been told. So now, through NIL, he can make good money at Illinois. Could he make $1 million? Who knows? Maybe. Could he go overseas? Yes. So he's got a decision to make. If he comes back, the Illini are going to move up. We don't know. Major news for the Illini this week. They picked up Sky Clark, decommit from Kentucky. So now they've got their replacement for Trent Frazier, Andre Cabello, who's already out. Frazier's a big loss. Big time key player. He was a super senior. I love Coleman Hawkins. I think he'll be a star for the Illini. You're going to see more time for Benjamin Bozeman's Verdonk, RJ Melendez, Luke Goody. So Illini in this mix. Here's a faith pick, okay? Xavier at 19. Sean Miller, obviously a very good coach, returning to Xavier where he was very successful. But they got players. They won the NIT. Colby Jones, Jack Nungy, Zach Fremantle. So they've got pieces there, and I fully expect Sean Miller to be active in the transfer portal. So that's a faith pick, putting them in the top 20. 18, Alabama. Again, what will happen with this roster? The big if. TBD here. But if J.D. Davison, Jaden Shackelford are back, and you've got a healthy Javon Quinterly, and they added Nick Pringle and Brandon Miller, then Alabama is going to be much higher, I think, than 18. But I don't know. So, once again, I felt like I had to have them in the top 20, but they could be much higher once we see the full roster. 17, Auburn. This may stir the pot a little in the state of Alabama that I've got Auburn ahead of Alabama after Auburn just lost Jabari Smith and Walker Kessler. But I got some certainties with Auburn, which is I'm pretty certain their backcourt is back. Wendell Green Jr., Alan Flanagan, Katie Johnson. Okay, so those three, that's your backcourt anchors. If I know for sure that Alabama's is back, I might flip that. Okay, Jalen Williams, Dylan Cardwell. So, you know, they've got solid players, great class coming in. So I think Auburn and Alabama are going to be right there to jockey somewhere in this top 20, top 15. Okay. It'd be very interesting to see how all that plays out. All right. Texas. We got Texas coming in at number 16. Chris Beard. Got to give him some love because he's going to be active in the transfer portal. Here's what we know. Christian Bishop is back. Brock Cunningham is back. Dylan Disu and Devin Askew. McDonald's All-Americans are coming in, and Dylan Mitchell and Arterio Morris. Big question is Timmy Allen. If Timmy Allen comes back, then the Longhorns, you know, maybe they'll be where they are, or they could move up. No question about it. All right, 15, Purdue. Disappointing in their loss to St. Peter's. We know Travion Williams is gone. Sasha Stefanovic, Eric Hunter Jr., and of course, Jaden Ivey. So they're losing a good group. But I am putting a faith pick here that this team is going to have enough of their core of Zach Edey, Mason Gillis, Caleb First, Brandon Newman, Ethan Morton, and then they're really high on this newcomer class of Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, Cam Heide, Will Berg. I think the 15 to 20 range for Purdue is where they will settle. 14. Another team that I may have too low. The Blue Jays could be a top 10 team. This is for now. Okay. I've got Creighton at 14. So, healthy Ryan Kelkbrunner, who was not healthy because he got hurt, so he did not play in that Kansas game. Ryan Emhard did not play down the stretch. Okay, he got hurt. So you bring those two guys back to add to Arthur Kaluma and Trey Alexander, and you got a squad with the Blue Jays. Okay, this is a team that I think could win the Big East, knock Villanova off its perch. So maybe I should have had them higher, and maybe I will. 13, Michigan State. The Spartans, as of now, have Max Christie back. I think Max Christie could take that Keegan Murray, Johnny Davis jump. A lot of hype coming in. And he was up and down, which is understandable. A normal freshman season. So let's assume Christie's back. You add in Tyson Walker, AJ Hogarth. So they got their backcourt settled, finally. Tom Izzo knows who's playing there. Malik Hall, up and down junior year. as a senior, could take that next step. Julius Marble II, maybe he now is the big instead of sharing time behind Marcus Brigham. So I feel comfortable that Michigan State will be in that top 15. I put him at 13. Before we go to the next, let's see if we got any questions here. Sleeping on Tennessee as usual. No Virginia Tech. People are upset about that. No Notre Dame. Marquette better be on this list. Okay. I got to respond to Ian Evans here, but we didn't learn about the Big Ten. I'm going to keep hammering this, okay? Two things can be true, Ian. You can have a really good regular season and deserve every bid, which they did the last 2 years, and not have a good postseason. They're both true. In 2018, you know how many bids they deserved? 4. That's how many they got. So, regular season, postseason. They don't compare. This is a ranking. I'm not predicting who's winning the national championship here because I don't know the bracket. Matchups bracket mean everything. On the Virginia, I know they got a top 10 recruiting class and all 5 starters back, but that's one of these things. Okay, so all 5 starters are back from a very average team. How do we know that these 5 starters are going to suddenly take this giant leap for Virginia? We don't. So we got to wait on Virginia and see, because Tony Bennett wasn't happy the way this finished. They lost in the NIT at home to St. Bonaventure. So there you go. Florida State. We'll get to them in a little bit here. All right, let's get back to our rankings. We can shift here to the next grouping. Number 12, Gonzaga. It's actually the lowest I've had the Zags in a couple of years here. So the Zags, Drew Timme declared this week for the NBA draft, but he signed with an NCAA certified agent, which means he could come back. I also think Timme could make good money in the NIL world. Okay. So I believe that Drew Timme may come back because he may not be a first round pick. I don't think he is. So let's just put that on the table. Holmgren is gone. We're going to see Julian Strother, Antoine Watson, Hunter South, Nolan Hickman take that next step, maybe a healthy Caden Perry. And they'll be active in the transfer portal. The Zags are going to be in the top 15. Deal with it. At number 11, maybe I have them too low. Okay, and that's Houston. Now, we just saw that Marcus Sasser has just declared for the draft. So he's essentially gone. Tremont back. Looks like he's coming back. Both were hurt. But Kelvin Sampson gets this thing going, no question. And they have an unbelievable recruiting class for Houston. J.S. Walker leads a outstanding crew. So I would say for sure that Houston's going to be in the mix. I firmly believe that. What do we see? 50-44 in the Elite Eight. They took down number 1 Arizona. Do not sleep on the Cougars. Okay? Great program for the Big 12 coming up in a couple of years. Number 10, Villanova. This is a faith pick. Yes, lost a lot. Jermaine Samuels, Colin Gillespie, of course, Big East Player of the Year. So let's assume Justin Moore comes back from that Achilles injury healthy, which takes a while to come back from Achilles. So he'll be the star from Villanova. I think you're going to see more from Chris Archidiacono and Brian Antoine. They'll take that next step up. Eric Dixon, I think, will take another leap as a big. Good recruiting class. I'm never not going to rank Villanova high. I'm sorry. Jay Wright, they're just going to be there. Number 9, UCLA. Still a roster in flux. But I think Tiger Campbell comes back. And, they've got really good rotation players that would be returning that I think will take that next step up. Outstanding recruiting class led by Amari Bailey, Adembona. I think this team's going to be right there in the mix to be top 10. 8, Kansas. The reigning national champs now. Core returning group of Christian Brown, Jalen Wilson, Dwan Harris, Joseph Yesufu, KJ Adams Jr., Bobby Pettiford. Outstanding group of newcomers in Grady Dick, MJ Rice, Ernest Udeh Jr. Look, Kansas is going to be right there. Come on. No Remy Martin, no Ochai Agbaji, no David McCormick, but they will be in the mix. Number 7, North Carolina. I think Armando Bacot is going to come back. This is my assumption. And if he comes back, paired with Caleb Love and RJ Davis, then what you're looking for the Tar Heels is replacing Brady Manick. You do that, North Carolina and Hubert Davis will be right there to compete atop the ACC. And you do that, you're competing in the national championship. Number 6, Duke. John Shire for Mike Krzyzewski. One seat over. How's he going to handle that? We don't know. Hubert did great. Let's see if Shire can do as well. You know, Hubert had some rocky times, of course, and I'm sure Shire will. But Jeremy Roach, Wendell Moore Jr., assumption back. So they got their backcourt. I'm also assuming the foursome of Paulo Banchero, Trevor Keels, AJ Griffin, and Mark Williams will all be gone because they're all good enough to be lottery top 20. But recruiting class number 1 in the country, led by Derek Lively, the second, Kyle Filipkowski, and Derek Whitehead. You know, so the talent's going to be great. So they got a lot to work with. Put them at 6 because a lot of newcomers, new coach. We'll see how it all plays out. 5, Michigan. The Wolverines could still get Hunter Dickinson for the same reason that I think Kofi Cockburn could come back. First of all, Hunter is not a lock for the top 20. So let's assume that he's got a chance to come back. Moussa Diabate, who actually may be a better NBA prospect. You add that group with Terrace Reed Jr., and you may have one of the best front courts in the country. Caleb Houston, who should come back. A lot of hype. Kind of like Max Christie. He could take a Keegan Murray, Johnny Davis-like jump in the Big Ten and live up to his potential. And Frankie Collins, I think, will take another jump. So Juwan Howard's going to have a squad. I think they're the Big Ten favorites. 4, Baylor. Adam Flagler, LJ Cryer, and Flo Thamba, all expected to be back. Langston Love, who was out with an ACL injury, Keontae George, lives up to his hype. And we don't know. Maybe Matthew Meyer and Jeremy Sohan come back. And if they do, then the Bears are going to be the Big 12 favorite and, once again, chasing the national championship. All right. At number 3, Kentucky. So Kentucky, look, the Wildcats, I think, could return Oscar Tshiebwe. Tshiebwe has similar deal to Kofi Cockburn. All right, so Kofi Cockburn has that NAL potential. So could Oscar Tshiebwe. Consensus National Player of the Year, and there's no question that he can make a ton of money at Kentucky. And if he comes back, Kentucky is one of the favorites to win the national championship. I know they lost to St. Peter's, incredibly disappointing. But think about this. Savvy Wheeler is going to come back. So they got the leading in assists in the SEC the last 2 years. Jacob Toppin coming back. A healthy C.J. Frederick from Iowa who sat out last season. Good shooter. And big-time studs, Cason Wallace and Chris Livingston coming back. And Calipari's got a team that could compete, again, for the national championship. All right, so now we're down to the top 2. I've seen people have Arkansas 1. Back-to-back Elite Eights. They just picked up Jalen Graham in the transfer portal from Arizona State. Jalen Williams declared for the NBA draft. Let's see if he sticks in it. Nick Smith leads an unbelievable top 2 recruiting class. But it's going to be a young group. So I'm a little reluctant to put them at number 1. So who do I have on? You see on your screen. Arizona. The Wildcats, and I talked to Tommy Lloyd about this, okay? Tommy Lloyd was comfortable. I said, hey, I may put you on later this week in my way too early Power 36. Here's the deal. Benedict Mathurin is going to be gone. But the feeling in Tucson is that Christian Coloco will be back. So now you got 4 starters: Coloco, Kerr Kriisa, Galen Terry, and Azuolas Tubelis. And then you add the expected jump of Pelle Larsson, Omar Ballo, Adama Ball, and I'm sure Tommy will add even more. And I think Arizona, which was a #1 seed, bumped out by Houston, will need to get a little tougher, but I think they got all the pieces to be the #1 team in the country. So who do I have under consideration? We mentioned Iowa State. They're in that group. UConn, Virginia, Florida State, Indiana, Colorado, Rutgers, Miami, Colorado State, Washington State, SMU, St. Louis, VCU, Murray State, Drake, BYU, Portland, Louisville, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Providence, UAB, Wake Forest, and of course Notre Dame. Not necessarily in that order, but teams that I was thinking about. So a couple other questions for you. Let's see what we got here. Indiana was in that group. Trace Jackson Davis, Race Thompson, we've got to finally, see what they've got there. Doesn't matter where you rank. KU was #1 all season. Now look at them. Yes, of course. And Marcus Sasser coming back because no way he gets drafted. Probably right in that. So, and Joshua says great coverage on Arkansas. So I appreciate that. All right. So appreciate all your engagement here on our way too early Power 36 here on April 8th. As we're doing this just a few days after the national championship game Monday night in New Orleans. This will change. We will update this a couple times in the spring because we've got multiple deadlines with the portal and the early entry deadline. Next stop, certainly for me, is at the NBA Draft Combine in mid-May in Chicago. So appreciate all your engagement on this app, on all our social media platforms. We will talk again soon. Thanks again, everyone, for watching.